Okay, there we go. Hi, guys. Uh, I had such a crazy day to talk about today. I don't think I really um, expressed how much I really like went through today when I was live earlier the um, with the clown spirit thing, right? Wasn't thinking about wasn't time. I think I was just really kind of from all that in actuality. So I got my car fixed today with the help of family financing. So I'm back at the swing. I technically have work now because I just got some on and off gig work for the city of Stamford. I might be able to get a lot of hours out of that. I'm not entirely sure. It's part time and it's temp. It's with a temp agency, but honestly, I think I want that level of independence, and we'll see how much I can get from the city. Hopefully I'm not competing with too many people, and hopefully I'm not too overqualified for it. But so I didn't hear from the shop yesterday when I turned the car in, and I didn't hear from the shop when I woke up at dawn. Or in the dawn. I don't wake up at dawn. Like the sun's definitely been up. But my point is that I had to go over there in person. So, out of necessity, I had to break up my my waking routine, my waking ritual, right? Because normally my waking ritual is is getting getting a drink of water and going to the bathroom, brushing my teeth, and then getting it on with breathing and stretching. And then I do the rest of that and end with breakfast. So I take a shower, and then I breakfast. After I go through all the stretching, and there's some meditation in there or whatever. So I only do the washing my teeth part of the ritual, and then the ritual has to go on pause, right? This is explaining, you know, an essence of an idea of when you have to stretch your ritual out, and how it's okay because you're leaving a part of yourself in suspension when you put the ritual on pause. Here's how the rest of that went down for your interest, especially if you are going into your magical practice. So, I finally get a hold of somebody, and they go and they finally start taking care of the car. I head home. They're finally looking at it, so they have to actually go through the evaluation process, right? Like nobody looked at it yesterday. Unbelievable, really. But or wait, no, or was it late? No, I turned it in late, so not unbelievable. But anyway, what's up? Who we got here? Let me turn up my light. I got lots of battery. Ghost and Oscar. What up, guys? So, we're talking about a little bit of magic and a certain reflection I'm getting into. So, after that, I came back home and I opened up the windows to get some air in. And in my room where I do my yoga is also where Locke, my iguana that my longtime fans know that I have and have seen on screen periodically, he lives up there too. And I did not realize that the mosquito screen was so far bent out of shape that he had no effort at all in getting out of the fucking house. I get through fucking like all my fucking meditation and shit, and I pop up and I'm looking at the window and I see his everything but his fucking tail already out of the goddamn fucking window on the fucking tree that has a branch growing into it, and it's on the side of the house. And so from this point, I'm like, I've already run the scenario in my head a million times, and thankfully, because I've done all this mad house cleaning, that the tall ladder has been unburied from the hoarding situation. So I was able to run, get the tall ladder. My eye lost him because he moved deeper into the fucking branches. And so it took me a while. I panicked and wasn't sure if he just decided to bolt somewhere because it's very hard to see him. He's green and there was lots of very bushy, tight green leaves all over the tree. So I had to really kind of look for him like tight. Hey, what's up, Matrix? Hey, oh, you just subbed? Thanks, Ghost. I've got a lot of interesting shit on here. Please check out my playlists. Everything's on a playlist except for these drive streams, which I probably should create, or I have a drive stream playlist. I forgot if I set up a drive stream playlist for every time I go live, or... Anyway, check my playlists. These are just kind of unorganized, kind of like intuitive stream of consciousness things, right? I have interviews, I have presentations, I have conversations, like my Holy Mountain two-parter with Slick Dissident. That's a really good lesson right there. Oops, sorry. Lord Droll. Oh, yes, I do drive and stream at the same time. I am very good at it. It's no different than taking a visual phone call with people. You know, everybody can handle a certain degree of distracted driving. And honestly, I don't think you can function with how much you are behind the wheel without just training yourself to be multifunctional behind the wheel. So I'm not distracted, especially because I'm also not doing anything illegally. So whenever people are bringing up crashing situation, they're just trying to introduce curse into your nervous system, right? I have said things that come off that way in chat groups that I had to learn to hold and restrain myself from being that way, because I'm like, oh my God, does saying this project? I'm honestly just concerned and care. Oh shit, I feel awful, right? Because it's like, it sucks that it's like that, right? But it only sucks that it's like that because people put us in a sucky situation by not understanding and comprehending the inner emotional connection with those words that are universal, not just because somebody has a hang up about it, right? Right? So I handle that in my own particular way, and you just have to, right? So you have to check yourself if your intention is not to be rude or insulting. because sometimes you are just a person who cares that much, and you are used to seeing incredible imbeciles showing off how dumb they are in real time to you. That's completely understandable. What? I, I I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't want to hear that out of your goddamn mouth if I'm not fucking talking about sexual stuff. Or you're in context to something. Don't just fucking throw your fucking ass at me. That doesn't work around here. I won't understand anything you're talking about. I forgot to type about that. And you're 16. Ah, uh-huh. Okay, gotcha. All right, so you're 16, so I think you're Gen Z if you're 16. All right, so you're Gen Z. You're going to be the adults bringing out of this post-apocalypse since 2020 generation, right? You've stumbled upon me, who presents on my channel conspiracy and occult information, esoteric information, wisdom, philosophy, metaphysics, spiritual sciences, etc., etc. That's what you're here for me, as well as the idea of you being always advancing, progressing, and executing yourself as a person. We are a tripartite soul, and we have things we must improve upon: the heart, the body, and the mind. That's what this channel is about. I do my best to speak in a manner that can be universally understood and covers terms that are not for the profane. Now, you're 16. You're allowed to be considered, quote, the profane, which means to be ignorant of proper knowledge and wisdom and do not speak in a wise and intelligent manner, right? Mostly the wisdom side of it, because there's lots of intelligent people that are profane. There's people that have basic wisdom, but they don't realize that wisdom has to be applied to the existential sometimes, just to keep things from going fucking south in the greater aspect of your life. These are important details that, unfortunately, you're probably still going to get hit with them, even when you've got a guy like me who will talk to you about how he fucked up, right? Because you'll hear a lot about my fuck ups, because I fucking am showing you how I fucking evolved from that fuck up, right? How I took fucking personal responsibility. I take so much personal responsibility that sometimes people piss me off in ways where normally you gotta take responsibility. It's just like, but then you're just like, dude, I take responsibility for fucking everything. That person did me wrong, fuck them. Sometimes you gotta be like that, because if you know you're fucking doing that, and it's gonna be the kind of thing that only you know that you're doing, because in the truest and most sincere sense of being, quote, humble, you say nothing, right? You know, I could sit there and brag all day, every day about how I gave a guy who passed out at the fucking Ren Fair a sip of water. Look how fucking righteous I am. I saved his life practically. I do talk about that stuff just because you do have to acknowledge your accomplishments and their meaning, but you don't live with them. You don't live with them. They're there. They're part of your story. They're part of your history. They're part of your legacy. but it's something that happened yesterday. It's something that was relevant yesterday. It was the right thing to do yesterday. Gen X aliens who will warp your mind or make you surprise you. Yeah, that's why we're Gen X. Gen X is like, Gen X had a choice of going like off the deep end in all of the freedoms that we had going into the new millennium. And there was a choice to be a highly responsible person, a highly exploitative person, or just seeking the party, seeking the pleasures. Most of this country kind of went that way. And the ones that went the other way, well, they've always been there, right? It's what happens with the conservative right and stuff, right? I mean, they're conservatives for a reason, right-hand path. It's order and structure. You know, it is a male-dominated system because it's about history and tradition and things. Men, I think, inspire that to be held by the women, and then the women excel at it when it's kept in good tradition, and the men and the women can pass that down, and that's part of your sustainment of culture, right? And so you've got a culture and an anti-culture that is also its own culture. Technically, the elitists who exploit are the anti-culture. I look at postmodernism as anti-culture, right? But there's a postmodernism that can dress itself up like punk rock. And it's really fucking obvious if you don't care about popular music. And I don't care about popular music. That does not sway my fucking interest. And once in a while, I'll throw a bone to a catchy fucking tune. So, after this very sweaty, long ordeal, I think it took me an hour to find my iguana. I finally, got him down, and once I got all that stuff finally secured, I was finally able to take a shower, because when he escaped, going to take a shower was the next thing. Actually, this whole ordeal, I did miss something. But it's okay if you miss something. It's just, you know, the point is you jumped back in, you worked with what you had to do. You know, I named him Loch after Loch Ness, Lake Ness. But Loch is Loki. It might as well be Loki. Might as well have named the kid Loki. Right, so that's gonna happen. So I gotta let the trickster have his day. And he had his day. And I love him all the same for it. And so I skipped blowing my horn. I have a bull that is carved for blowing, for music and for ceremony. And so I blow it every day when I've finished my attestations. But I did do my attestations. I remembered all that. Or am I forgetting that I blew the horn? You see, that's been how crazy the day is that I don't remember if I even did the ritual properly. Because I remember, normally. Because usually, it's just something that may slip the mind once in a while. Not because there was an, oh my god, the iguana got out, right? Where are you in the middle of nowhere? We're not in the middle of nowhere. There's a poison distributary right here with plenty of shiny lights, and a place where I can get some abiotic refined oil. that allegedly will never run out, but we have to charge more for it because the dollar sucks. But, hey, what's up, Slick? So, on top of all these cool things, all these crazy things that happened, my Blackwater Park Opeth vinyl came in. So once I cleared all the stress, because it wasn't too long after I took care of breakfast and everything else that I got the phone call that the car was ready. So I was able to go and get the car. And actually, yeah, that's actually when it was actually after I got the car. I went to Wingstop. Yeah, like, I did it all in order, but it got highly broken up. But I held space, like, in my mind, in my nervous system. I need to get back to my sacred space where I complete the ritual, or make another sacred space to complete the ritual. Because that's just part of how it gets right in the day. And then depending on when the next part of the day is for me is when I do the midday ritual. Today I had another big surprise. Not big surprise, but so James True. I'm gonna be having a lot of his shit on my mind for a while because one of the things I've been tasked to do on a pay scale function is to timestamp all the videos. He has made many micro chapters of his live streams after editing them down to under an hour and more as a clean cut, as opposed to the live stream prose of interruption to go back and forth with the audience and such, right? Or if his mind kind of wanders on a tangent that doesn't serve the focus. So I have to look at these chapters he's placed out, and then I gotta tune in, and I have to pay attention to where he's introducing the conversation. Sometimes there's a cue because there's a card, like a cue card, but sometimes he's got a point that he's building up to, and sometimes there isn't even a cue card, right? So I have to go through that. And, it takes me an hour, 30 minutes to do one episode, depending on how it is, understanding some of the subtext of what James is getting at. So I have to listen to his lectures a lot. I'm going to be listening to his lectures a lot. So that's going to be very, very interesting. That's going to be highly interesting for me and where my mind is going. Granted, Temple of the White Dragon, it's always going to be my Axis Mundi. But Temple of the White Dragon is incredibly free. So all the students, we all know what's up. We know how to hold what's down, right? So that's going to be some of the interesting reflections, just talking, because I'm doing work. I'm doing some work. And this involves contributions, right? So fun little things, like some of the chapters are James telling a joke. There's a little laugh emoji that I insert next to the timestamp to let you know that that chapter is a joke. Maybe you want to skip it because you're short on time. So it's neat little stuff like that, and I'll be getting into higher technicalities, be helping him do slideshows. I already did one for a tribute to Miss Piggy, which was fascinating because I found a really cool documentary that showed up in my algorithm about the history of Miss Piggy from a social commentary point of view, the way the world changed, especially in recent years, how business affected things in a hardcore way, right? How Frank Oz got in touch with his feminine side as an effect. of working with Miss Piggy. All these things, this 1 hour documentary on YouTube somewhere. So I watched that one once. It was very well done. She was very intelligent. She knew a thing or two about aspects of the psychology, the context of the history, the idea of, I guess, the message or the agenda that Jim and Frank had for the character, right? And all of it was like a good sync for the points that James made about Miss Piggy. That was being realized by her too, and actually supported his argument in a way I thought was very intelligent, effective, relevant, and true. But Zero Left is strapped with at least one battle axe right now. Yeah, right. I'll show you later because it's at home. When I went to the Renaissance Fair, I got a Celtic ceremonial dagger at the weapons dealer. $25. Nice blade, about that big. I had to sharpen myself. It's sharp now. It could be sharper. I'm using a very, very old fucking tool to sharpen it because my dad doesn't throw too many goddamn things away. Sometimes that's a great thing. Sometimes it's not the fucking wisest thing to keep for fucking 20 to 40 fucking years. Yeah, so I've had such a huge dump of things on my mind, but everything's been so incredibly smooth and fun, and you know, it's interesting when you fucking doing what everybody tells you you have to fucking do to fucking be secure in your future. You realize that if you just do what you want to do, what you gotta do. Granted, that's got to be something that's really a thing that's of worth to do. I take my video game time once in a while, you know, and the movie time and all that shit. Granted, all of those arts are worth. I mean, video games, when done fucking well and right, is a goddamn fucking art form. Slick, if you haven't seen that Wukong game yet, dude, go watch some of the fucking trailers and cinematics for that fucking new Chinese mythology game. I've never seen Chinese mythology done so kick the fuck ass. I'm like, oh my god, like the fucking demons look amazing, and the gods are like, holy shit. It's God of War style, right? Oh, it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. I want to play it. You know, I'm a metal monkey in Chinese zodiac, so so anything in that Hanuman kind of area that works for me, which it makes sense because as an Aries, I'm ruled by Mars, and Hanuman is a Martian god, and Hanuman's probably one of the most important Martian gods because it's very hard to see the Martian. Like, most of the time you get a Martian god that you know is a very Martian god, and it's like, well, he seems more like the bad guy, right? Because of our hang-ups about what war really means. And then we have Greek mythology where Ares doesn't do such fucking kindly things, right? And we all understand that there's that human failure of too much desire for war. And there's something to that. And I think that there's something wrong with the way that story is told, because a god is a god for a reason. And this god of war with ram horns, I can understand where people would get the devil as a violent thing out of that. That would make perfect sense, especially with the way Christianity does its appropriation of things, where it goes. But the high energy level and decision making, the quick decision making, the getting ahead of things, like all these Monkey King qualities, very Martian, very fucking Martian, and it's the playfulness, Martian, certain Martian aspects will bring out the playfulness in a person. Because of the inherent yang energy, right? A woman has Mars in her chart somewhere, a guy has Venus in his chart somewhere. So anyway, I'm gonna go to this poison center and try to get some not too poisonous thing to eat. And thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you later.